Howdy guys, Attorney Walter Hnot. Now this is the video where we go live and answer specific questions that people have live. There's nobody helping me. There's nobody in my ear. There's no special computer over here feeding me the law. So we're going to go ahead and basically take live calls and answer them about Social Security disability questions. We do have the first caller already on the phone. The rules are very simple. Remember to get about 5 to 7 minutes per question. Use a fake name throughout the process and then ask your legal question up front. So, Madame, what is your legal question?
Yes, hi. I'm Linda. I'm 57 and I was awarded SSDI earlier this year. My paperwork indicates that my review will be within 5 to 7 years. And although I am grateful for the award, I'm finding it difficult to live off of the amount I was awarded. I'm considering moving abroad, and I'm wondering if that will prompt me to get kicked off of benefits or have my medical treatment done overseas. Would that be a problem?
Okay, so real quick, basically you can move abroad with your SSDI benefits and still receive them. There are certain regulatory things you just have to watch out for, but for the most part, you can do that without issue. Realize that your Medicare is going to be somewhat limited, which you're paying into right now, because obviously Medicare is a U.S.-backed insurance-based program, so it's going to be a little bit more limited. There are lots of countries that people with SSDI benefits move to and live in, and they still get medical treatment and do all those things, and the cost of living is just massively, massively cheaper. So bottom line is, yes, you can do that. But it's always a good idea to have a bank in the US be able to receive the funds and then transfer the funds over to a bank in the other country. It's also not a bad idea to also have mail be delivered, and then basically somebody in the US go ahead and be able to send to you things as well. Because if they have a problem and they can't reach you at your new address, they're going to try and go ahead and basically, mail it to your last known US address. So it's always a good idea to have something there as a PO box or something like that to go ahead and have it be mailed to. But no, you can do that. And a lot of people are, because the cost of living in the United States over the past couple of years has rocketed upwards. So, a lot of people, especially for the Southeast Asian islands, specifically, they are going to those places where the cost of living is just massively, massively cheaper.
Okay. And the point about the bank account, are you suggesting that because the SSA has access to your bank account and credit card transactions, or because it's easier? Because I was told that SSDI payments can be, like, for example, Mexico, you can have them send your payments to.
Yeah, there are a lot of reasons that I said you should have a U.S. bank account and then have it be transferred. I can't go into them all on a live show. But what I would say is it is a very wise idea, not just for the purposes of the ones that you mentioned.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Indeed. So, yeah.
What about the medical?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
The medical records being in, for example, Spanish, would that be a problem if there's a review coming up?
No problem at all. No issue at all. And then, I mean, if you're literally talking about Mexico, then, I mean, you're across the border. If you truly need some sort of surgery or treatment to be covered by Medicare that's not covered in Mexico, you can just drive across the border and make it happen, which is obviously way less than like Thailand or something like that. So, yeah, no, when it comes to you're not going to be in some of the tricky, sticky situations that some of the individuals over in like Vietnam or the Philippines or Thailand would potentially run into.
And I think I heard you mention that the countries where there is an embassy that works with the United States is a little trickier in terms of when it comes to being investigated or following up.
So here's so here's the basic thing with the embassies in these different places. A lot of the workers that work at the embassy are trained in like 4 or 5 main functions of what the job is. Not so much Social Security disability benefits. So if you have an issue and you have to reach out to basically the embassy and you have to have them, communicate something or send something, it's always a miserable process. Especially a lot of the ones in Europe, people just get stuck and they can't get anything done. So the point is, but you're honestly, Mexico, that's just not a big deal, like a lot of these situations. So what I would say is this, at the end of the day, what you want to kind of keep in mind is that it's usually a good idea to have somebody in the US who can always communicate to the SSA in case you can't communicate something to the SSA. The other side of the coin is that, bottom line, you're really not going to have many embassy issues. We're talking about Mexico, right? You're set, like you're going to Mexico. Yeah. Okay. So if it's Mexico, you're not going to run into that problem. When it comes to, Germany, when it comes to Thailand, you run into those issues.
Okay. All right. Mm-hmm. Well, thanks a lot for your help.
Absolutely, madam. You have a wonderful night, and we'll catch up with you a little bit down the line. We'll go to the next caller. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay, guys, that's our first call. Let's go ahead and go to the next one. I know it's super late, so we may not have as many calls. I know I missed a few calls. Theodore, thank you for the $10 donation. That's awesome. So on Ted out. My show is almost on. Hello, everyone. Happy New Year, all, and Walter Ted out. Cool. So I don't know Theodore's show, but maybe check it out. I don't know. Let me give a little heart to it. That's awesome. So with that said, you mean like your show, like, you're like your TV show is almost on, which, yeah, I cannot wait for Zach Snyder's. Okay, here's the next call. Here we go. All right, so next caller, I remember the rules, 5 to 7 minutes per call, legal question right up front, use a fake name throughout the process. How can I help you? Oh, go. Oh, sorry, you're not on speakerphone. Go ahead.
Okay, my question is, I haven't gotten approved yet, and hypothetically, if I was to get approved right now, from the time that I started the process, I probably got unemployment, like when I first started the process.
Okay.
And if I'm approved, I was wondering, the Social Security looking at the back pay, eliminate that during the back pay.
Okay, wait, help me out. What is the legal question? Just summarize it for me.
I'm sorry?
Just summarize for me. What was the legal question? And then on your side, just go ahead and mute the computer because I can hear it in the background as we talk. So it's probably
okay. Let me walk into another room.
Okay, there you go. So just real quick again, summarize that question for me. You filed for disability benefits. You haven't been found disabled yet. And what was the rest of it?
Okay. I was okay. When I went through this process, I was probably I was collecting unemployment.
Okay.
But I'm not on it anymore. But probably for a couple of years, I was wondering, the Social Security look at that if I was to get approved?
Yeah. So basically, with unemployment, when you're collecting unemployment, it makes you state on there that you're ready and willing to go ahead and work. Some of the judges, especially the older judges, don't like to approve people when they're receiving that check or that benefit. Younger judges, a lot of them understand that basically like the person is going to have something to exist on, live on. So could it potentially result in an overpayment depending on your situation? Yeah, it might, depending on what else is going on financially with you. But for the most part, it shouldn't really be too big of an issue because most of the judges nowadays just kind of ignore the application where you make that statement. And then, of course, the benefit review is something that happens after the judges give an approval.
Okay. That's all I had wanted to know.
Perfect, sir. Sounds good. I will catch you a little bit later. You have a wonderful, wonderful night.
You too, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. Yeah, something happened with that phone. With that said, let's see what we got here. Hold on. Kathy Has Faith said, question, I'm 62 and have adhesive arthritis, inflammation, spinal cord line, pain, limitation of sitting and standing along there. What are my chances of SSDI off work for 1 year? I'd have to see what the severity levels are. So Kathy, I'd have to actually read your medical documentation to see how severe you actually have those things. So it's all based on severity level. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. You get about 5 to 7 minutes for a question and answer. And that's weird. They keep calling in and then they hang up. Let's look at the next question. Okay, let's see. Next question is over here. Let me see what we got. Let me see what we've got here. I'm just scrolling up to see if I can see what some of the earlier questions were. If I go to my hearing, will the judge stop me at step 1 if I made too much for SGA? Yes. For those months that you made too much for SGA, you are de facto not disabled for those months, so you will not be able to collect disability benefits for those. But remember, that's earned income versus unearned income. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. You get about 5 to 7 minutes to ask your legal question. What is the legal question? Go ahead. Person on the phone, are you there? Hello? Hello? Person on the phone? All right, let me try and call this person back because I think they've called a couple of times. Let's see what we got here. Boopity boop. I guess it's a different person calling in now. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. What is the legal question that I can help you with? Go ahead.
Well, I have a question. Oh, Lordy, where do I start? My husband hurt his shoulder about 4 years ago at work, and it's been causing him to have problems working because it's like a muscle strain type thing that's in his back or his shoulder blade area.
Okay.
Anyway, there's not a whole lot they can do, just physical therapy, which we have problems getting to.
Okay.
Anyway, he had that problem, and then COVID hit, and they told everybody to go get vaccinated. So we got vaccinated, and he had been working prior to COVID hitting, and then he got laid off like everybody else. And he had pulled his muscle at that job previously, and like I said, the vaccine came out. He got vaccinated, and instead of just hurting him in the shoulder, now it went to his lower back.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not making $1,400 a month because he calls off almost as much as he can work. He might work if it's a light, easy job.
Yeah, sorry about that. That was another video playing. Go ahead, keep going. Yeah.
Like a 2-week thing, like he might work 2 weeks if it's a light job, and then it'll start acting up, or they'll have him do something, that's harder work at work, and then it messes up, and then it's like every other day thing until ultimately he gets fired, or the job ends. He works at a lot of temporary agencies because of this, and like I said, he's not being productive, and he doesn't drive. He's older. He has never had a driver's license. Not that he did anything bad. He just never driven. And we live like on the edge of the big city, so he's like fluent in doing busing, and where we live at doesn't have busing enough that you could actually hold a job and live here, if that makes sense.
So real quick, legal question though. What is the legal question? I get the whole back issues, can't keep a job, COVID, had a job, now doesn't. Yeah.
Would he be a candidate to apply for disability?
What's his current age?
30, 40. How old are you? How old are you? 47. 47.
Okay. What are his top 5 impairments in total? Like all the impairments, the medical conditions that he suffers from?
Well, I believe he's got high functioning, but a form of autism that's never been diagnosed.
Okay.
He's got a shoulder at his back. Like I said, he got that from the COVID. Now, I heard that that's a real thing, that the COVID vaccine was causing problems with people with an injury. And then on the third time we went to get the third vaccine, he gave us a form, and on that form it asked if you had a tooth pulled or any other injuries or surgeries within so long prior to. And I don't know what that was about, but it wasn't on the first 2 applications, but on the third one it was.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started reading up on it, and they said that it's definitely a major thing, but there's also a reversal. Have you heard anything about that?
Okay, but let's refocus. Top 5 impairments. So once again, just hit me with the bullet points. Yeah.
He went through schooling with an IEP.
Okay, so
and he can't count change.
Okay, so intellectual deficit, back issue. What else?
Well, he can't stand on concrete, like to stand in one spot to do a job like where you're not moving much.
Okay, so musculoskeletal limitation. Got it.
And I don't know beyond that.
What about like anxiety, depression, panic attacks, things like that?
Oh, he's a hoarder.
Mm-hmm.
If that does anything, I don't know about that. But I don't know, not really. He has anxiety. He does have that. I don't think he's been diagnosed actually with it, but when he has pressure on him, he runs from it. Literally.
Okay. I mean, I'd have to take a look at his medical documentation. Is this a thing where he has insurance and he's been going to the doctor for both mental and physical, or is this a thing where he just hasn't been going to any medical?
He has insurance. It's just the Medicaid.
Okay. So I guess bottom line point is he using it or not really?
Using what?
The insurance, the medical insurance. Does he have multiple doctors for the physical, multiple doctors for the mental?
No, he had a psychologist he was working with, but he wasn't getting anything out of it. I don't know. When I met him, I wasn't real impressed with him. I didn't figure it would go very far. So he has not been seeing them. He did for a little bit for the hoarding, and then his actual doctor sent him to a back doctor, and he had a. I don't know if it was a CAT scan or MRI. I want to say CAT scan. I think it was a CAT scan he had, and it showed that his issue for his shoulder was in his muscles.
Okay, so it sounds like this is all in the very, very early stages of having medical review, kind of doing the basics, figuring out what's going on with him. So I guess from my perspective, I'd have to look at the medical documentation to see how good of an option he actually was for this. Obviously, reading, writing limitations. He's not going to be great for administrative functions, which are like, doing reception-oriented work or potentially a security guard that's watching monitors. Yeah.
Yeah, no. He tried a college course, actually took it with me, and I don't even know what that was. I was like, okay. He went to the same class. He didn't study when he came home. I'm studying my butt off because I'm like, I know I ain't doing so good.
Right.
He didn't bother with it, but his testing was only like 43. Why'd you go through that whole class if you weren't really going to apply yourself? You know what I mean?
Right. I gotcha. So what I would say is this.
He doesn't have that drive or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. I mean, what I would say is this. It's a potential, absolutely potential. I'd have to see how severe the medical documentation is. I always ask people before signing them up to see like the most recent medical documentation or report from a doctor if they're under 50 years old, because there's no grid out potential. There's no grid out rule that allows you to have an easier finding. So bottom line is this, go collect the most recent medical review and then just give me a call during the regular 9 to 5 at the law firm. And then we'll catch up from there and kind of go through his file. Yeah.
Is it the same number?
Yep, same number, same gig. Yep.
Oh, okay. Okay. And then I have another question.
Yeah.
My first husband, I was married prior to this marriage, and anyways, my first husband passed in 2007, and anyway, they told me that when I got 60 that I'd be able to get his Social Security, but now that I'm married, they said that I could not get that. Is there any way to get his benefits at 60? Like if we got divorced, would I be able to get his benefits or no?
I don't know what all the situational details are, but like how long were you married to the individual?
26 years.
Okay, so yeah, I mean that's long time. So that's okay. So assuming that everything else is fine, assuming that you meet all the other elemental requirements, so long as you're not disabled, then, basically you're looking at the 60 years old option. Then you can tap into his Title II base benefits and go from there. But we'd have to catch up, and I want to get a few more callers in, but we'd have to catch up on,
Yeah.
Are you potentially disabled? Because then you could be getting it at 50, and then we'd have to go through the other restrictions of basically the ex-spousal benefits. So, and did he pass away or no? He didn't pass away.
Yeah, my first husband passed. Yes.
Okay, cool.
And I was on disability. It's a long, long story. I was on it. They kicked me off. They put me back on it. I owned a little piece of land that was worth $3,035 because the $3,000 couple rule, I was $35 over. They denied me, and here we are.
I hear you. I totally hear you. I mean, there was ways to fix that though, where you could have gotten basically a land valuation to show the land was actually worth less than that and submitted that as a counter argument. But I tell you what, we can always catch up on that later. Let me get to the next call though, because I want to get as many calls as possible, but I will catch you guys. Yeah. I'll catch you guys a little bit later. You have a wonderful, wonderful night. Yeah.
You too. Thanks so much, Walter. You have a great night.
Thank you, madam. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot, Disability Resolution PA. We are live on YouTube. Remember, you get about 5 to 7 minutes. Use a fake name throughout this process. And what is the legal question that I can help you with? Go ahead. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Oh, there you are. Perfect. Go ahead.
Hi.
Hi.
I have a question. I got disability for TBI
Okay.
on 2017. My daughter was underage. She is going to be 18 at the end of next month.
Okay.
And I'm just wondering if there is a way that she can get or still get some of the benefits.
I can barely hear you. Is there a way that you could just somehow find a way to be a little bit louder on the phone, because I can barely hear you?
Oh, I'm sorry. Is this better?
A little bit. So you were found disabled. You're going to turn 18 soon. Go ahead from there.
Yeah. And I had an underage daughter, and my daughter is going to be 18 years old.
Okay.
By the end of next month. And I'm just wondering, is there a way that she can receive part of whatever my disability benefits past 18 years?
Well, usually they look at basically attachment to whether or not they're still in school to like 19, and then there's a 22-year-old rule for still in high school and stuff like that. So potentially, but then again, wait a minute. This is the child disabled? I guess we should start there.
Oh, no, I'm found disabled.
No, I know, but is the child disabled as well or no?
No.
So basically auxiliary benefits usually up to like 16, and then you have basically attachment for the children of a disabled person. I don't know exactly what the rule is for the child of a disabled person getting benefits beyond 18. Usually the rule is like 19 or 22, depending on essentially if they're still in high school and still in school. But let me check real quick.
She's in high school.
Yeah, no, I gotcha. Let's see if we can find. But see, the child isn't disabled, and usually that's applicable to the child. So here's what I would say. I'm not sure what the answer to that particular question is, because usually I'm dealing with it if the child is in fact disabled, and then we're signing them up for disabled adult child benefits with their SSI benefits attached. So what I would say is this: go ahead and email me. And then basically I'll do a video specifically on that. Yeah. Because what we're talking about is like qualifications for a dependent child of a disabled SSDI parent. and at what point will
Right.
but I think with this one, and this is your child, right? It's not like it's an adopted or an actual your child. Okay, cool. So let me see if I can find the rule real quick. I think it's age 19. Let me see. Hold on. And the child's going to be in high school through 19, correct?
Correct. She's going to turn 8. Well, actually, she's going to turn 18 the end of next month. So she's still going to be in high school.
All right. So what I'm seeing. Yeah. So I'm basically seeing until 19 or potentially up to 2 months after the child becomes age 19. Okay. So until the child graduates or until 2 months after the child becomes 19. When you qualify for Social Security, children, but be unmarried, be age 18 or 18 to 19 years and full-time student, or be 18 older and disabled from disability that started before age 22. Stop when child reaches 18 unless they're disabled. However, the child is still a full-time student at secondary or elementary school. At 18, benefits will continue until the child graduates until 2 months after the child becomes age 19. Okay, so is the child going to graduate between 18 and 19, or is the child going to graduate after being 19 years old?
She's going to graduate high school between 18 and 19.
Okay, so basically when she graduates, that's when the benefits to her will stop.
Okay, so her benefits will stop like next month when she turns 18?
No, when she graduates
Or
from high school.
When she graduates. Okay.
So long as it's between 18 and 19
she
years
will-
old. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, good.
Perfect.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely, madam. I will catch you a little bit later. You have a wonderful, wonderful day, okay?
Okay. Thank you so much. And it's okay if I just call you some other time. I mean, privately, for private questions.
Yeah. I mean, I try to, because remember, keep in mind, like, we try to do the free thing, 5 to 7 minute consultation online where I just basically answer questions. And then basically the other option is where you can email me and you can buy an actual hour of time during the law firm's time. And then we put you on the actual hearing docket calendar for like an hour. And, basically you pay $250, you sign this little mini contract, you PayPal over the funds, or you send a check. And then at that point, basically you get an hour on the docket and then we schedule an actual hour and we go through all the stuff.
Thank you so very much.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate it.
Yeah. You have a wonderful, wonderful night, okay?
Okay, thank you. You as well.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. You get about 5 to 7 minutes to ask a question and have an answer. What is your legal question that I can help you with?
Yes, sir. I was calling concerning, I get disability, sir, but I've taken a course for chaplain. And I was wondering if it would hurt for me to get offerings, love offerings, or donations instead of a regular job and get paid, or vice versa.
So, so it would be, would they be truly donations or would that be seen as an income? I would see that more as like an income for doing services. And then anytime you get a certification or graduation diploma, they tend to do a CDI review to see if the person is still disabled. So expect a review upon completion of the chaplain, requirements. And then the other thing is, like, if you're receiving those donations and they're repetitive and continuous for things that you're performing, that's income. So they'll probably view that more as, earned income as opposed to just like, actual donations.
Okay, so would I be better off like applying for a regular job than getting disability? Or?
Well, look, if you want to work, like use your 9-month trial work period. And then, once you get through that, use your extended eligibility. Like, how much are you trying to earn per month, or how much do you think as a disabled individual you could earn per month?
Well, it helped if I would get at least 1,000, but I'm only getting 700 a month.
Okay, so I mean, you're under SGA by quite a bit. It's like half of the SGA. So what I would say is this. As a result of that, what I would say is this: you essentially, you could potentially earn more at the job you're currently at, or you could switch jobs, or if you wanted to, you could try. I mean, are you looking to earn a lot more? Like, do you feel that you could work a lot more, or not really?
Well, I got limitations because I got herniated disc and I got nerve damage, and then I'm diabetic too. So, but I mean, 700 a month really don't cut it.
Yeah, no, totally get it.
And then I'm getting my medication in Mexico, sir, because my diabetic, for example, my insulin cost $75 here.
Yeah, no, I totally.
And I can get it over there for $60.
Yeah. So, I mean, what I would say is this. I mean, if you want to earn a lot more, look at the Ticket to Work program, and research that. If it's a situation where you don't think you can earn much more than like $1,000, then just keep doing that. You get your extended eligibility program, and you're SSDI, not SSI, correct?
Yeah, I'm SSI.
Yeah, so you're just going to be utilizing the 9-month trial work period. Then you'll be using the extended eligibility program for those months, and then you should be good to go. But yeah, so bottom line, what I would say for you is go research extended eligibility program. Again, extended eligibility program, and then also go research basically Ticket to Work program. Those would be the two things you should go kind of learn about. Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. Sounds
Alrighty,
good.
sir.
Absolutely. You have a wonderful, wonderful night.
You too, sir. God bless.
You as
Take
well.
care.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot, Disability Resolution PA. You get about 5 to 7 minutes for the call to ask a question and basically get an answer. Remember to use a fake name. And what is your legal question?
Hi, I wrote a minute ago, but I have this rare disease called adhesive arachnoiditis, and on top of that, I have PTSD, depression, and some anxiety, panic attack disorders. And I guess I'm a little bit nervous because I applied for all of this. I'm 62, so I could go for early retirement, but I really wasn't planning on retiring. It's just that I haven't been able to go back to work.
Mm-hmm.
And so my question is, am I at a disadvantage because I'm 62? And I mean, I have documentation from the MRI and documentation about my limitations. It's just that it's a rare disease, and then the PTSD on top of it. And I don't know, I guess I feel a little bit anxious about what I need in the way of documentation. I have a doctor that doesn't document super great on my chart. So do you have some advice for me?
I mean, that's a huge question. Like, how do you win a disability claim for that? That's basically the question, right?
Right.
Right.
Yeah, sorry, Walter.
Yeah, no. So, I mean, all right, let's start with the basics. How does it limit you in your daily activities?
Sitting, standing, lifting. Sit for very long. Lying down is probably my best position. I have nerve inflammation from it's an inflammatory disease of one of the linings of your spinal cord.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have pain in my legs and pain in my back. I sometimes have headaches from it as well.
Mm-hmm.
So every day I have pain. And then it's the standing, sitting, or I can't do things like vacuum a room.
Mm-hmm.
I can't, if I lift something, I will pay for it. In other words, lifting anything probably more than about a jug of milk is, even a jug of milk I can feel in my back, and will cause my back to hurt.
Okay.
So, it limits me that way. I haven't gotten to the place where I fell or anything, but I but I just can't do stuff for very long at all. And then on top of that, with this depression and stuff that I have, I just don't do very good in crowds or working with people. I'm struggling with that. So I stay home most of the time. I've been off work now for over a year because I've been back in the hospital a couple of times for my PTSD. So I don't know.
Okay, so I mean, first thing that comes to mind is if you're having limitations with, back issues, obviously get your prescriptions down, your walker, your crutch, your cane, your, wheelchair, your rollator, things like that, that'll assist you. Next thing that comes to mind is maybe specialty shoes, maybe specialty braces. Next thing that comes to mind is, basically inpatient crisis related treatment for emergency room due to back issues, etc. Or maybe the PTSD and problems with that, where you're spending inpatient time overnight at the medical facility, because they're always going to be looking for crisis related treatment. The PTSD, I'd have to see what your medical notes are currently showing, specifically to what's causing the nightmares and the flashbacks. But that's one of those things where you literally have to go and do case development as to what's causing it, why it's coming up, how often it comes up, and how it limits you on a daily basis when you do have a flashback.
Okay.
Trying to think if there's anything, because like you're basically saying, like, how do I win this claim in 5 to 7 minutes?
Yeah, because I'm trying to learn how to gather the right information in that, because I know that I'm limited, but I just need a little bit of help. And it doesn't help to have a rare disease either, probably. So,
I mean, if this were a thing where you were like, okay, now have you received a denial yet or not yet?
No, not yet. They're still working my claim.
Okay. When did you initially file?
When did I? In August.
Okay. So it's a relatively new claim. You're over 60, which is going to give you the benefit of this thing moving along. Have you already started to receive your retirement benefits?
No, I didn't know whether I should do that or not, because I didn't know if there would be a disadvantage to doing that.
Okay, gotcha.
Basically.
So, I mean, bottom line is this. Okay, so this is more of like a bigger question. And keep in mind, you can potentially go retroactive benefits to the month after the month that you last worked. So there's a lot of stuff to cover with this. I would say this is more of either a longer call, or basically you get representation, either of those options. But that's more of one of those two things. So I would have you think or look about that. Obviously, look up the 12.15 for the disability listing for PTSD. Obviously, look into the 1.0s for listing level criteria, for the 1.0s for the back issues and things like that for the rare disease.
Yeah.
The big thing too is vocational analysis. What were the SVPs that you achieved? Any transferable skill work, things like that. It's definitely going to be a 60+ grid out. You just want to frame it in the best way that the DDS rep can take it and push it through as quickly and easily as possible. So,
the other thing I was worried about is I've had a pretty big job. Well, I can't do that big job anymore. So, So, I don't have this mental, emotional capacity to do the same anymore.
Sure.
With fatigue. So, well, I've been out of work over a year, so about a year and a half. So,
gotcha.
Thanks. All right. So, what you're saying is call for a longer appointment.
Yeah, either that or a representation thing. I mean, the bottom line is like, this is more of like, I'd have to sit down and figure out your work history, figure out what you've already done medically, then tell you what medically needs to be done going forward for them to be able to, meet any requirements, and then kind of go through the claim details as to how to functionally structure it to get the best and the fastest potential grid out for your level of types of work that you used to have, so that when they look at the transferable skill work options, nothing's transferable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Walter. I really appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely. You have a wonderful, wonderful night. Okay.
Hey, you too. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay, so we're going to take one more call, and then we're going to go basically just rest because I'm super tired. Actually, I need to go to Walmart. I have to get groceries. Here we go. So, hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live right now. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. You get about 5 to 7 minutes for a quick question and answer. What is your quick legal question? Go ahead.
Yeah, this is Anthony. I just want to know with asthma.
So basically, I don't know why we've had a lot of like accidental hangups today. I'm just gonna take whoever calls in next, and then that'll be like the final call for the night. So whoever's gonna call in, let's see who's gonna call in. Let's see who's gonna call in. Nobody's calling in. This is weird. This is weird. Let's see what happens. Come on. Now, since nobody's calling in, the reason we're able to actually do it, this whole video in our regular studio room, is because these guys, they didn't pay me anything. Virus Busters in Merritt Island. They basically went ahead and fixed my computer, so I could go ahead and do this stuff. If you guys could consider looking up on Google Virus Busters Merritt Island and leaving them a 5-star, I would really appreciate it, because they didn't charge me a dime and they fixed this computer and it wouldn't even take a charge. So cool. We're taking the next caller real quick. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. You get about 5 to 7 minutes to go through and ask a quick legal question. Go ahead and mute the computer on your side. And what is your legal question? Go ahead.
Yes, sir. When you're under a CDI investigation and the surveillance is somewhat high, and you stay home pretty much all the time, and when you go to local doctor appointments, they're usually sending representatives there. Do they ever use the FBI as well as DOJ?
So the way they do the CDI units is that they kind of like, it's not so much that they're using, I mean, they do take people from the FBI, they do take people from the local, sheriffs, police, marshals, all that stuff. They have a program where they basically bring people into it for the purposes of doing this function, because they're looking for people who have security clearances, know how to do this job, all that kind of stuff. So as a result, it's not so much like the FBI person is acting as an FBI agent. They're acting as agents on behalf of the CDI unit, on behalf of the SSA, on behalf of the Office of Inspector General. So yeah, they could use people with that training and then authorize them to act on behalf of the SSA through OIG in that purpose, in that action. So, be badged under the OIG to go ahead and do a CDI investigation.
Okay. Because I just now started there's a vacant home right across the street from us at about 50 yards, and they have been sheriffs that will, when we leave to go to a doctor's appointment, will either be coming my way on the road or meet at the 4-way stop that's about 5 houses down, or I tried to rent a car when my car, there's some engine problems, and I needed to get to see my neurologist to have an MRI scan after having 2 lateral strokes, and my father was going to rent me a car, but they were there at the rent-a-car place, so I think they might have gotten access to tap cell phones and text messages, and but the guy across the street, I've been having somebody that I know doesn't live there. It's a vacant trailer, so they must have gotten permission to park there in the driveway, and they don't back in, they just pull in, and they sit there for hours on end until I look out the living room drapes, and then they one time I did go out about a month ago to put something in the back of the car for my father to mail off for me, and they were there in the driveway, and I noticed it wasn't the neighbor, so I had a flashlight and I turned the flashlight on, and then I
hear you, man, but real quick, just the legal question, and we do have a rocket going overhead. So do you have any additional legal questions for me that you can ask? Yeah, go ahead.
Let me think. I guess other than my reviews at DES, I sent the 3373 in for additional information, and then I also everything that I'm sending the DDS rep for further review, I'm also faxing that into the Social Security fax line, so it goes into a main database. So
but remember, just the legal question, because that's like a statement. Just the legal question.
The DDS review, can it take 3 months or 4 months?
Either or. Could take 3-4 months, could take 6 months, depends on, I mean, if it's a CDI review that DDS is assisting with and CDI units are part of it, it could take longer than 3 or 4 months. It could take 6 months, it could take 12 months, any one of those. Yeah.
Okay. I guess the other question was, I might call and ask you personally about that one.
Okay.
All maybe tomorrow or something.
All right.
But it's been very high surveillance. Yes, sir.
Perfect. Well, sounds good, good sir. Absolutely. I've got Shadow going. I'll catch you a little bit later. You have a wonderful day, okay?
You too. Thank you, Walter.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So, guys, this is actually the second rocket that's gone up today. Like, we had one with 2 boosters land. And remember, I live really close to NASA. So the reality is that, like, when the rockets go up, Shadow loses his mind because he doesn't like the boomsies and the, like, the grumbles. So bottom line is we'll do one more call. If somebody calls in with the next 5 seconds, we will do one more call. And then I have to go to Walmart because literally I have to buy groceries. So let me see what time Walmart closes. Hold on. Let's see what we're looking at real quick. We do have a call coming in and it closes. Oh, it's already closed. It's already closed. That sucks. All right, here we go. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot, Disability Resolution PA. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. What is your super duper quick legal question that I can help you out with? Go ahead.
Hi, Walter. How are you doing?
I'm okay. How you doing?
Pretty good. My general question is, should I even attempt to apply for SSDI? I'm about to turn 59 years old in March. I haven't worked since 2009. I have some back issues and some knee replacements that I could have done and some pooling in my blood in my legs. And I'm currently living off of my savings of under $25,000 a year.
Okay.
And I was wondering if that $25,000 is going to be a bad thing for me.
So and Shadow was going nuts because a rocket is going off. Yeah, the very last part. You're currently living off your savings, and then give me that last part again.
I'm living under $25,000 a year.
So are you that's your savings, but are you earning that money or no?
No, that's just out of my savings.
Yeah. So, I mean, keep in mind, like what you get on SSDI benefits is probably going to be, a smaller amount. Like if you take the average SSDI amount, let's just do a calculator gig, and then basically from there you multiply it by your 12 months of, let's just round it off at 1,500, multiply it by around 12. You might be more than that. Yours might be more. That's only $18,000. So if we boost that to $1,800 per month, we multiply that by 12, we equate to around $21,600, which is still less than $25,000. So the point is, it's not going to hurt you. You're just going to, when you get your SSDI benefits, going to have to use some of your savings along with it.
Oh, okay. Well, that's doable.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, if you feel that you're unable to work, you're unable to do functions, stuff like that, you can always give me a call. We can see if we can do rep on the claim. But bottom line is, it's just not as much money as most people. Like, have you called the SSA and asked them how much per month you're actually going to get when you go on SSDI benefits?
No, I haven't even talked to any lawyer other than yourself.
Gotcha. So yeah, basically, first thing that you're going to want to know when you talk to the attorney, whether it's me or somebody else, know your top 5 impairments, what all the medical conditions are, when each started, when each became severe, last day that you worked. That's super duper important. Last day that you worked. Also, basically, the medications that you're currently on, side effects that you experience. Also, you're going to go through basically with the jobs that you had. Were you a manager? Were you not a manager? Did you handle payroll? Did you handle scheduling? And then basically, final detail with all of that. You're going to want to be able to go through what functions at those jobs you could not perform nowadays. So having in your head, okay, I got to work, I had to do this function, that function, that function. Before lunch, I had to do this function. Before I left, I had to do this function. Knowing what functions you wouldn't be able to do at the jobs nowadays is super important.
Okay. Yeah, I know you've touched on a lot of these subjects in your videos. It's kind of hard to binge watch and keep them all straight, but you're doing good work, and I certainly thank you for your effort.
Thank you, good sir. Well, you have a wonderful, wonderful night, okay?
Thank you much.
Thank you, good sir. Bye-bye. Perfect. Okay, guys, so that is going to be the extent of this video. There was one person that I didn't catch. He answered and then it hung up, so we'll just kind of catch him at the next video. Please remember to like. Please remember to not be stingy with your like button. Please remember to subscribe. Click the all button. If you want to support the channel, there's membership options now. And basically, with that said, if you would consider leaving a 5-star for these guys, they fixed my computer. They didn't pay me anything to say that. Virus Busters, Merritt Island, super duper important. Have an absolutely wonderful night. I will catch you a little bit later and we'll go from there. If you do have a video topic you do want me to cover, remember, go ahead and email me directly at the law firm, Disability Resolution. So info@disabilityresolution.com or my specific email, wrh@disabilityresolution.com. I will catch you guys a little bit later. Please have a wonderful night, and we will go from there. Tomorrow is going to be a big video night where I have some big videos coming out, but you will have to catch up with me tomorrow for that particular set of videos. Have a wonderful night, and we will go from there, and thank you so much. All right, bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.